to my live stream. It's been 1 year since Hilda Baci Cookathon. Ah, it's how many days now she's been, sharing content on her social media handles. On YouTube, I started the makings of kunu. That's about a month ago. And in celebration of Idabasi's 1 year cookathon, I want to complete the kunu so that you can know how to make it and join us in the celebration. This is millet and guinea corn. In Yoruba, we call millet um, okababa. No, guinea corn is okababa. And then the millet is jero. I think Hausas call it jero. So I soaked it for 2 days. I washed it thoroughly, you know, picked all the dirt, then washed it and removed the stones, the sand, and everything. Then I now soaked it. After soaking, I now washed it again thoroughly. On the YouTube channel, I'm streaming on two platforms. That's why I'm referring to YouTube. I'm on YouTube and I'm also on TikTok. So, TikTok people, if you want to know how we started, you need to check my YouTube channel and see the makings of kunu that I did a month ago. Yes, about a month ago, where I made this sweet potato. I peeled it, I cut it into bits, and sun dried it with the ginger. So they are all dried. So I now washed them and added cloves, dried cloves. I added dried cloves. So I'm going to combine everything together and blend into a paste to make our kunu. I hope you are inspired by Hilda Baci. She has really been able to make a statement. In fact, so many statements, as in she's an inspiration. That whatever you want to do, you can always do it if you believe in yourself. She made preparations. She didn't just wake up one day and start doing this. She made plans. And in making plans, and by God's grace, she was able to achieve her aim. So I don't want to do much of talking. I hope you will concentrate on what I'm doing. So here I have my potato, sweet potato, dried one that I've washed thoroughly with dried ginger and cloves inside my millet and guinea corn mixture to make kunu. So I'm going to be using my blender. You need a strong blender to make this. So I'll just do it gently, as in I won't fill the cup too much because we are going to be adding water and I want it to grind smoothly. I think it's okay. I'll just add water. Let me add a bit more so that I can finish on time. I can add this water as well because it's clean water. I'll cover it up. That's why I say I don't want it to be too full. So let me just remove a bit. And I'll add more water. If you have a big blender. The bigger blender cup that I have is not, the blade is not as strong as this one. Though this is why I'm using this particular one. So I'll add more water. You have to make this soup. If you feel your blender cannot do the work, you have to take it to the millers. People who have commercial grinders. I'm going to be pouring it inside this container, and I'll continue grinding the rest. The one I set aside, I'll add it first. I'm always overfilling this thing. I don't know. I still need to remove it. So let me just. So it's remaining just one batch to go after grinding this one. So once I grind it, the rest is very easy. And now the last batch. So this is done. What I'm going to do now is this one inside here. I'm going to set it aside. This raw one, I'll set it aside. And I'm going to be adding some cold water into this. Then very hot water, in fact boiling water. I already boiled the water, it cooled down a little, so I'm boiling it again. So I'm going to add it to this inside this container. Let me get the cold water and add it. As in, room temperature water is okay. So because after making, we will still sieve it, then bottle it and put it in the fridge or freezer to chill. If you have ice, you can add ice to it, you know, after making it. So you need to go through this process first. So we'll do it as if we are making pap now. Stir this thoroughly. So I'll just keep this aside. I have to make sure the water is boiled before adding it. I hope you are seeing this very well because it's like network is not really okay. I'm going to be adding boiling water, like I said. I just want to make sure the water boils very well because it's like we are going to be making, as if you want to make pap. So you need the water to boil very well. So that's the water. Kettle is whistling, so the water is boiling. I'm going to be adding the hot water now. It's very hot. This is supposed to thicken up. Let me just keep it there. Then I'm going to get my, because if you can see, it doesn't really thicken up. So I'm going to cook it for a while to thicken it up. I was thicken it up on the stove before adding the raw one. I'm trying to position the, okay, let me put it on fire first, then I'll position the camera for YouTube so it can show the stove top on TikTok. I think you guys can see me. I want to get my pot. I'm washing the pot that I want to use to cook it so it can thicken up, be well cooked. YouTube, I don't know if you guys can see it very well. Just a side, because the way I place my camera, you can't go beyond this, you know. Just bear with me. I'll just try and let you see it when it's cooking. Let me just turn the flame. This is it. YouTube, can you see it? I'm bending the camera. I need to be very careful so that I don't go off line. So once it's done, I will let you see how it is. Well, I know they can see me very well on TikTok. The camera I'm using for TikTok, I'm using my phone on TikTok. I'm using my laptop on YouTube. So I want to make sure this thickens up. Like I said, we have to cook it. The hot water did not do the work, so that's why I put it in a pot on fire to make it cook. After it is well cooked, it will cool down for some time, maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, you know. I might not let it cool down for 1 hour for the sake of the live streaming, but it will cool down a bit. Then I'll add the raw one that I set aside. This one. I'll add it after this one is cooked. Then I'm going to cover it and leave it for about 10 hours or overnight. So the thickness will now, it will loosen up and it will become watery. Then you now have the authentic kunu. We are now going to sieve it and add sugar if we so desire. Some people will add dates or any sweetener of choice. I'm going to be adding sugar after everything is done. After cooking, adding the raw one, allowing it to sit for about 10 hours or overnight. Then I'll sieve it. That's when I'll add the sweetener. You can do any quantity of kunu. This is the way to do it. It is the authentic way of making kunu. So we used millet and guinea corn, and they are highly nutritious. We also used sweet potatoes, um, ginger, and cloves. Please give this video a thumbs up. I hope everybody is really inspired by Hilda Baci to go for anything you want to go for. Don't limit yourself. It doesn't have to be a cookathon. You don't have to, do something like that in any area or aspect that you have been doubting your ability. If you really put your mind to it and put in the work and trust in God, you will definitely get it. You will get there. I've been so busy lately that I've not been able to come online to share some things, but I said, since we are still in the celebration mode for 1 year Hilda Baci Cookathon, let me come and do this kunu recipe so you can also replicate it, try it out and make it at home. It's a very nutritious drink, more than all these fizzy drinks, all the fizzy drinks that give us empty calories and even do harm to our health. We should try as much as possible to take more of all these natural drinks. They are so healthy. So that's my advice. It's taking up. I need to keep stirring it because I don't want it to become too thick. If I need to add water, I'm going to add water. If I don't need to add water, I will know by the time it boils up because the flame is on medium low. I don't want it to be too high so that it doesn't stick to the pot. So you have to take note of that. Can you see that? It's really thickening up. Yes. Can you see how thick it is? So I'll just give it like two more minutes, then I'll turn off the heat. Can you see that it has changed in texture, in color, in thickness? So this is well cooked. So I'll just cover it up and allow it to cool down a bit. Preferably, maybe if you have time, maybe for like 30 minutes, 1 hour. But for the sake of this live streaming, like I said earlier, I'll just allow it to cool down a little. Then I'll add the raw one to it. Then we are going to cover it up after I add the raw one. But let it cool down a bit now. I've turned off the heat. Then I'm going to put this one here. This is the raw one that we are going to add to it. We'll add it and mix thoroughly and cover it up. So let it stay there. I hope you guys are preparing for the next Hilda Baci class after the last one in April, because very soon now some people missed it, and the people that actually registered that got into the class, you can ask them, they can testify that she's a real tutor, as in she's a boss lady that she delivered. In fact, people are better now, as in the way they entered when they got into the class, they are way better because they have really gotten so much than they even expected for just 35,000 naira. And I pray that they will be able to, put it to good use, and they'll be better people um, in their careers, in their everyday life, that everything will work out well for each and every one of the students, and even people that wanted to and were not able to do that for one reason or the other. I pray that God will help each and every one of us to achieve our aims and objectives. So if you have the money, please, next one, put in for it. God will provide for us. And anything you learn, I'm not sure. I don't know if any of the students are watching me. If you have learned anything, please put it to use. Or don't just learn something and keep it. Put it to good use. God will help us. Celebrating Hilda Baci Cookathon 1 year. It's been 1 year. Can you imagine? Can you believe that? It's been 1 year that she achieved that. And she's really blazing the trails. She's a trailblazer. She's an inspiration. And she's really showing everybody that God is on her side. So I'm just talking so that this thing can cool down a bit. Then I'll add the raw paste to it. And on one side, I'm cleaning up. I would have liked to do this and edit and upload, but lately I've been very busy. I've been very busy that if you even check my channel, you will see that I've not uploaded in a while. I've been very busy, but I need to put up something for the queen herself. I'll be doing more of this, come up on lives, we'll cook any dish you want, any dish that is you are inspired by her, or any other thing. So far is food. She's all about food and drinks. She has a special way of making her food. So you can ask me anything and we can replicate. And I'll show you how to do it. And you can also try it out on your own. Thanks for joining. Please give the live stream a thumbs up. God bless you. I'm right here cleaning up, waiting for the kunu paste to cool down a bit. The one I cooked, and I'm going to add the raw one to it. Look at that. Can you see how thick it is? This is kunu. You'll be wondering, how can this be kunu? This thickness, the way you are seeing it, it will turn to water when we cover it up for several hours. You will see it will become so watery to give you that authentic kunu. So let me add the raw one to it. Let me put it here so that the people on YouTube can see it properly. Yeah, everybody can see it now. I'm mixing it thoroughly. Use hot water to rinse the blender cup. Please give this video a thumbs up. I hope you are learning something. I You can see I'm not hiding anything, and this is the way to make kunu. And we use two ingredients: millet and guinea corn, has jero and okababa. Guinea corn is okababa in Yoruba. They are so nutritious. You can read about them. This is better than all these artificial drinks, all these fizzy drinks that we drink. This will do you a whole lot of good. It's actually for taste. That's a raw part that we added. You can see that even what we added it to is still hot, but there's this unique taste that it will give it. The sweet potato, the cloves, the ginger with the millet and everything mixed together is a whole lot of goodness. So this is thoroughly mixed. I'm going to cover it up now and allow it to rest for several hours. Like I said, my hands are washed. I've been washing, so I'm going to use it to just clean out this thing. I don't want to waste anything. So hot. To practice good hygiene when you are doing anything, especially cooking. So covered it up. It's going to stay for what time is it now? I want to try and make it today. If I say it should stay overnight, it will be too long. And I won't even have time tomorrow morning to do this. It's even going to be way, way too long. So once it's still maybe it has taken like some hours, I would finish up and I'll let you see how it goes. I'm going to be heading the live stream now.